I was in 3rd grade, I read a book about astronauts and got wildly obsessed with space. So my dad bought me a cheap little telescope for Christmas. Now, this is the kind of childhood anecdote where I get mystically inspired and never forget the first star I ever saw or something. But in reality, that cheap telescope broke in the mail, and we returned it a few days after New Year's. But that New Year's, 2009, there was a blue moon. Now, blue moons aren't once in a blue moon. They happen every 2.5 years or so. But that blue moon, it seemed so extraordinary in the moment. But that blue moon seemed so extraordinary. So, with my broken telescope laying useless at my side, I just watched the moon long after the New Year's countdown ended. That night lit a passion for space in me. For as long as humanity has been around, exploration has been an innate part of our culture. Human nature is to take up the challenge, to push further, to survive. That's how we've gotten so far, from the first heliocentric model of our solar system to the latest transmissions back from Voyager 2. But since the moon landing on July 20th, 1969, it seems so abstract. There is a waning interest in space that is causing humanity to spiral into a cycle of complacency. The universe seems so abstract to us everyday people who can't engage with space like an astrophysicist with 4 PhDs can. Exploring the unknowns past our atmosphere is rightfully weird. Space is weird and full of possibilities, good and bad. Where's the inspiration? What is holding us back from reinvigorating our passion for space? The edge of Earth's atmosphere is only 62 miles up from where we are standing. That is half a trip from here to Los Angeles. So, what do people really think about space? I mean, rarely can you find a person that hates space or isn't even a little interested in the wonders of it all. And by and large, people seem content with giving a little bit of money to NASA each year. Okay, a good chunk of change to be fair, and letting the scientists and engineers do what they do, then hearing the results from the New York Times months and months later. We aren't hostile to space, it's just very remote from us. It's not a pressing issue that can contend with our daily lives. But despite the fact that space isn't at the forefront like it was back during the space race, there are discoveries being made every day. There is a planet 1,500 light years away from us, Kepler 452b, that is eerily Earth-like, but twice our size. I mean, forget Earth-like planets, there is a planet out there that straight up rains glass. But despite these discoveries, there is a waning enthusiasm for space. So I think there are essentially 2 paths we can take as a species. In half a century, we can be out there colonizing our own solar system and looking for that alien life out on Kepler 452b. Or in half a century, we can be too wrapped up in our own fears of what is out there to get off the planet before we destroy it. Astronomy education, or the lack thereof, also plays a large part in the decreasing concern with space. As Carl Sagan said, every kid starts out a natural-born scientist. Only a few trickle through the system with their wonder and enthusiasm for science intact. Professionals make space seem boring to the rest of us. Science communicators like Bill Nye, Carl Sagan, and Neil deGrasse Tyson, they are few and far between. And while reinvigorating the passion in everyone and getting us all really interested in aliens and black holes and science fiction is a wonderful image, it's a tad unrealistic. What we might hope for is to get people curious about what's going on out there every so often, to preserve humanity's adventurous spirit, because there is so much we don't know. We only conceptually understand about 4% of what makes up our universe. As the only so far known people of the cosmos, it is our job to begin the path to to understanding the other 96. So really, what is holding us back? People can say just about anything to this question. They can say that we aren't ready, that we can't control where we'll go with this. I think that there is a deep fear of what happens next, what happens after we make the plan and begin its execution. Space has been the impassable frontier for so long, and now that we have the technology, we are too afraid to use it. We have pioneered the path. We have produced a world of imagination made real. And yet people have grown so complacent in this world of technology that they cannot push the boundaries of what astronauts did in 1969. So yeah, maybe we can sit back and say that a lack of hope and inspiration for space is reasonable in a society full of much more important things, like violence and hatred and regressive ideas. Or maybe we can stand up to a fear of new worlds and new mindsets, a fear of everyone on Earth putting aside their differences and coming together to rise up and take to the sky. There is no one solution. There is simply the fact that we must make the universe matter. $1 billion rocket to Mars, or one broken telescope at a time. Thank you.